Hi everyone, Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and Alex, you forgot to put the thingy in the phone. So just 1 second, if you can even hear me. There we go. So hopefully you guys are able to hear me now. We are live on Bowdabra each and every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m. Central, I believe. And tonight we're going to do a bunch of bows. We're also going to create a perfect spring and summer floral wreath using this 14-inch grapevine. So as you come in, as always, each and every Monday night that we're live, Bowdabra does give away a free roll of ribbon. And all you have to do is just comment down below, hey Thomas, or Alexia. All you have to do is just comment down below letting me know that you're here, and at the end, Bowdabra will choose one lucky winner for a free roll of ribbon. So it's as simple and easy as that. All right, let's see. Oop. We're going to start with our large Bowdabra here. We have our large, we have our mini, and we also have our wire. So you can find these products through the link down below once Bowdabra joins. But we're going to start with our large. I'm going to cut a length of wire. This wire, I honestly couldn't tell you the gauge. It is very sturdy, though, and it will hold up in any of your projects as long as you don't sit there and yank it with full force. You're good to go. So, hi, Eleanor. We're going to take this wire. Can you see comments or no? Yep, you can. And place it in the middle. And
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie, and just tuck it underneath.
Hi, Jody. She says here to watch a great tutorial.
Hey, Jody. Hey, Sylvia. Nice to see you guys. So for this ribbon, how about we try a 3-ribbon bow? I don't think we've done that in a while. So we're going to start with this. This is a 2.5 inch. All of the ribbon we use here on Bowdabra is from Sam's Club. We're going to cut both of these lengths off.
Hi, Sylvia. Hey, Loretta.
Hey, Loretta. Nice to see you. And if you're not seeing a ribbon that you like from Sam's Club, you can always find additional ribbon available at nicksseasonaldecor.com. So I want to work in all 3 ribbons. So this is another 2.5 inch. This I'd consider just to be like a canvas. I mean, it looks like a natural canvas. And I think this is going to look really nice with the other one that we've already worked in. So we're going to cut lengths of about 3.5, 4-inch loops like so. And tails about 6 to 8 inches long.
Hi, Angie from Toronto.
Hey, Angie.
Hi, Miriam.
Welcome, you guys. How's everyone doing tonight? How was your weekend? Let us know if you did anything fun. What did we do? We just worked. I mean, yesterday was beautiful. Today, you guys, is absolutely freezing outside. I don't like it being that cold. How about you, Al?
I hate it.
It's so cold out. The warehouse is cold, so we turned up the heat, which is the first time in a few days that we've had the need to really turn it up. I mean, Alex is cold no matter what, but me, I can tolerate it. But today, I told Alex to put that heat up because it was cold.
Hi, Anita from Belgium.
Wow, from Belgium. Some of the best chocolates come from Belgium. Hey, Marianne. So we're going to do 2 layers with this. So if we were to just use 1 ribbon, you guys, you can get away with 3, 4 pieces of, just that 1 ribbon. But since we have 3 ribbons, the more you work in, even though you may only have 1 piece of each, it does create a full bow. So you have to be a little bit more conscious of the amount that you're going to be using if you're using multiple ribbons. Because, we only added 1 piece so far. We just started working in our 2nd piece. But by the time we work in 2 pieces of each, this is going to be a very full bow. Hey, Lou. Hey, Pat. Nice to see you. So that's 2. Now we'll come back in with our final ribbon.
Hi, Myrna.
Which is going to be this 1.5 inch. So all of these kind of have the same color to them, right? But another thing that I really enjoy, when we go through the warehouse and I choose ribbons for whatever project I'm doing that night, I love picking up the 1.5 and 2.5 inch version of the same ribbon and working it into the same bow. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it gives a lot of texture, through the thickness of the ribbon. So we're going to take that wire. You saw us work that in. Doesn't matter which way your Bowdabra's facing, just take that and work it towards the middle.
Hi, Danae. Myrna asked approximately how long are the cuts?
So the length of the bow or the loop is about 4 or 5 inches, probably less. That's about 3 or 4. And the tail length is about 6 to 8 inches. So whatever that is, added up is roughly the length. So what is that? You got to double the length for this. So about 8 inches. So 8, 16, about 24-inch pieces of ribbon.
Carol Ann asked, is this a funky bow?
Yes, it is. So now that the bow is complete, we can dovetail. And I see we have over 160 of you guys tuned in. Thank you so much for joining. So to dovetail, I'll show you guys an example. So take your tail, fold it in half, and cut from the middle out towards the wired edge at an angle. And that just adds a perfect finishing touch.
Hi, Laura.
Hey, Laura. So we'll do that to all of them. And then I'll fluff this out for you guys. So if you haven't fluffed or if you haven't dovetailed before, I do think it's one of the most important things we do. You know, you can be using cheap ribbon like we're using today or super expensive ribbon. And if you don't take the time to dovetail those ends, and if you don't take the time especially to fluff your bows, you kind of lose the whole point of it. So always spend a few extra minutes. Sometimes fluffing and dovetailing takes more time than it takes to actually make the bow. But it does pay off in the end, so don't think it's a wasted effort.
Kathy from Cincinnati wants to win.
Hey, Kathy.
Tammy says, I really should try one of these Bowdabras.
You definitely should. So like I said, you can find them in the link down below. Hey, Kay. So what we're going to do is fluff it out now. Let me just throw away these tails. So to fluff, you guys, all I do is I just pull the tails apart, pull the loops apart, make sure there's no creases. And what I mean by a crease is like that, right? So you just want to straighten it out with your hands.
Hi, Hi, Marshall, sorry. And thank you, everyone, for all of the well wishes for Yaya.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so fluff.
Carol from Iowa wants to win.
And I mean, that's just a very gentle fluff. You know, we'll always fluff extra after I record because I don't want to keep you guys too long. But when we send Bowdabra the photos, which we do each week, and you'll see them posted on their social media, we spend a little extra time. But even just the amount of time I spent, look at how pretty that bow looks, right? What do you guys think of 3 ribbons? Hands up if you like that. Sylvia would love to win anything. Isn't that pretty? And this is a great neutral bow, so this would work year-round. Any season, any holiday, any celebration. And another thing that I've really enjoyed doing lately is to take my tails and just kind of crease them a little. Well, not crease them, but kind of give them a little volume, which Alex has been a huge fan of. After we finish these videos, we have a busy night each Monday. So as I'm prepping for the next thing, Alex is cutting the wires off, and every time I go to take a picture of it, I notice all of my loops are really loopy, and that's because of Alex. She loves to do that. So it's time to come back in with our large. So we're going to take another length of wire.
Donna says that bow looks so good. Claudia says love it.
Thank you, guys.
Kay says love it. I need to go get one.
Yes, so just take that wire, fold it in half, and see the slit on the top of your Bowdabra. That is where we're going to place it. Hi, Jill. So we're just going to take that and place it here. So on this side, we have the loop, and this side, we have the cut tails. And watch this. Doesn't make a difference. So it doesn't matter what side they're on. I know that might kind of scare some of you guys, but don't let it, because it's not going to make a difference which way you twist or whatever. It's going to still just turn out as beautiful.
Loretta says I like the crimped look.
I think that looks kind of cool myself. So for this bow, let's cut a length of tails. This is a 1.5 inch black and white stripe, which is again another non-seasonal ribbon. And my biggest tip for those of you either just starting out, wanting to do this as a business, you know, just want to make for friends and family, or just want to learn a few, you know, tips and tricks. When purchasing ribbon, the ribbons I look for is the ones that I can get the most use out of, right? So for instance, solid ribbons, simple patterns like this, things that we can apply to as many techniques or as many styles and combinations as possible. That way, we don't have so many ribbons, which I've gotten carried away with over the years, that, you know, kind of have a particular style or design in mind. So something like this would work for anything. So we're going to do 3 loops on either side that are about 4.5, 5 inches or so.
Laura says you make such beautiful bows, Nick.
Thank you, Laura, and you can too. It's not that complicated, you guys. If I can do it, you can do it. So we have our, is this 3 loops on this side? I lied. That's only 2. Let's do 1 more. So now that we have our 3 on each side, we're going to come back in with 2 more on each side, and these ones are going to be smaller. So you'll hear me say this word a lot. If you're in the Wreath community, if you follow me, you'll hear it constantly, and the word is depth. So when making your bows, by having the longest loops on the outside, your eye is drawn from the outside to the inside, and it gradually gets smaller and smaller, and it has a great illusion to it. So these loops do not have to be as big as the ones on the outside, and I don't measure them. I just kind of eyeball them just enough where you can see the other loop behind it.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly, and I see we have almost 200 live viewers. Thank you so much tuning in. for tuning in. We have 3 of our 4.5, 5-inch loops on the outside, followed by 2 about 3-inch loops, 2.5, 3-inch. Now it's time to come back in with one final loop, which is going to kind of separate or combine both sides. So this loop doesn't have to be big at all. 1.5 inches, 2 inches, that's it.
Nancy says, love that bow, my favorite bow, easy to make and always looks great.
That's right, Nancy. So that's known as our button loop. And I see we have over 200 viewers now. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are live each and every Monday here. We're going to take that bow out, take those wires simultaneously. Every time, it's like I'm in Starbucks, you guys. Every time I say that word, I always have to sit there and say it 100 times in my head. You know those words that you have, Alex, where you have to do that? So simultaneously, as I'm flipping it over, I'm tightening it. And then we'll tie it from behind. So to tie it off, do 2 or 3 good knots to make sure it's not going anywhere.
Jane says, I really struggle using the Bowdabra.
Well, Jane, practice does help. So with anything that's new or anything, you know, that just recently started, it does take time. So, you know, don't call it quits. I can't think of how many people have given up on bow making over the years or felt like they were going to give up on bow making, and then it finally clicks. So once it clicks, you're good. But don't give up in the meantime, because you don't know what you're going to be able to create if you quit. So that is that bow. How pretty is that technique?
So pretty. Renee asks where she can get the bow maker.
Yes, so you can order them through our affiliate link down below. Currently, nickseasonaldecor.com does not carry the Bowdabras. Hopefully, in the near future, we will have the Bowdabras for sale. We're going to take our wire, place it in the mini. I meant to say place it in the middle, but place it in the mini works just as well. And it's the same process. We're doing the same exact thing. And let's just use this ribbon since we've already used it. So one thing I love to do is kind of pair up combos. So last week I made a lavender wreath. Tonight in the group we're making a lavender lantern swag. So I love having bows match other bows. So for this, what you can do is create your loops in advance. What I love doing with bow ties is I love taking my tails, cutting them separately from the main portion of the loops. I think when you keep it the same or keep it within that one, you know, one giant bow, it kind of looks a little bulky in the middle. So what I love to do is cut my tails separately, take your ribbon, place it back into your mini, and let's try a 4 loop with a button bow tie.
Hi, Debbie. Hey, Marianne. She says, love that bow.
Hey, Debbie and Marianne.
Kelly says, I'm always more critical on my own work. Love my Bowdabra, though. Keeps my hands from aching.
Yes, and we're all our worst critics. And my biggest tip is nobody cares about your bows as much as you do. So nobody's as particular. People just see past the imperfections and just see the beauty. And once that kind of clicks in your brain as well, I think it just makes it a lot easier to design. Because I feel like just by nature, anybody that sits there and, you know, wants to make a bow are kind of perfectionist anyway. So you got to get out of that headspace, and it'll definitely help. So we did 4 loops. Now we're going to come back in with our button. Button doesn't have to be big by any means. Work it in the middle. And what do you guys think? Doesn't Alex do a great job with these videos? Hands up for Alex. Yes, I'm the one making the bows, but without Alex, we wouldn't have this up close and personal shot of us making these bows. So we're going to, which I can replace the camera with. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No camera can do what Alex does. So we're going to take those wires, again, flip it over, tighten at the same time, and then tie it off from behind. It's as simple and easy as that.
Hi, Debbie. Thank you for asking. Yaya's doing a little bit better, and Bella's feeling great.
Yes. And we'll have more updates on Yaya as we receive them, right? So she has more testing to be done, but one day at a time. Now, instead of dovetail, I'm just going to cut these at an angle. I think that looks pretty as well. Not always. It just depends on my thought process in the moment. So it depends on what kind of designer I'm feeling like when I do those tails. And I think that turned out really cute.
Thank you, everyone.
And what I love doing with my tails is I love, especially with the bow ties, kind of curling them inwards. See how cool that looks? What do you think? All right, so there's our next bow. How are we doing on time? We are doing great. So let's make our wreath bow and then see how we are from there. So for this bow, I really want to use this blue ribbon. This ribbon is from Sam's Club as well. And I think it's going to match the dollar store flowers that we have really nicely. So we'll cut a length of wire. All right, cut a length. Place it in the middle of your Bowdabra. tuck it underneath. Come back in with this 1.5-inch ribbon, which is my favorite size, you guys, especially for the frame we're going to use tonight, which is a 14-inch grapevine. I think nothing looks as good than a 1.5-inch on that type of grapevine. So we're going to take those tails, just work them in. Look at one side's much longer than the other, and I'm going to keep it that way to show you guys in the end how cool that looks. So don't think you have to measure your tails out perfectly. I never encourage you guys measure things out, but with tails especially, just cut them as long as you would like. The longer the better. So we're going to do a traditional bow for tonight's wreath. We're going to do loops about 3.5 inches. I'm going to drop my ribbon to the floor. Makes it so much easier, you guys. Take your ribbon, pinch and twist. So what I'm doing is I'm taking it, pinching, and twisting.
Anita says, love that color.
I know, this is a pretty blue. So this is a blue that's not too difficult to take a photo of. Certain blues and certain pinks and certain greens can be really challenging to photograph. This color isn't too bad. The pink that's on my table, I don't know if you guys can see it, but that pink can be difficult. It's like a fuchsia. So that's 3 on each side. Let's come back in with 1 or 2 more.
Marianne loves the blue. Gloria says, thanks for explaining.
Of course. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. That's kind of like what the whole point of my page is, right? So that's what I'm here for, is to help you guys out.
Hi, Karen.
Hey, Karen. Take those wires to the middle, pull them through, and tie off. Over 212 of you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. So we'll take those wires now, pull them to the back, and tie them off.
Linda says that is a very pretty blue.
Thank you, Linda. All right, time to secure this to the wreath. I want to make the wreath now. Sometimes I wait for tonight. I want to make the wreath. So we're going to take our bow. I like to place my bow on the ugliest side of the grapevine. So these grapevines we have in stock, they are great quality. They came in with hardly any leaves at all, and they are on sale for $5.75. Hard to beat that price. So we'll take those wires, pull them to the middle, and I like to tie my bows with the Bowdabra wire from the front. That way, the back, all you see is just the wire, but no knot and no cut. So you don't see these little frayed edges. So once that's secure, just cut off the excess. Hey, Teresa, thank you so much. Teresa says, hi, Nick, I love your work. I appreciate that greatly. Pull those tails down. Now we can fluff our bow. We didn't do too many loops, but the amount we did is going to be enough. So if you're ever unsure as to how many loops you should be making, my biggest tip is just to experiment with bow making before you kind of really stress about it. So make a bunch of bows ahead of time, and then you can kind of gauge what 4 loops will look like, 6 loops, 8 loops, so on and so forth. So that tail's long, and this tail's short.
Marianne says she needs some of these.
Right? Okay. So now that that is in place, we're going to come back in with some flowers. So I have purple and blue. Gloria says blue is her favorite color. Yes, blue is very pretty. And I wouldn't always say that. You guys know I used to not be a big blue guy, but over the years that's changed. So we're going to take our flowers. These are just from the dollar store. Me and Alex were working on some footage for our page earlier. And I always have plenty of these around. Don't I? Isn't this one thing that I just always have?
Yeah.
So even though I don't use these in, the super high quality reeds that we design, they still make a great alternative to expensive flowers when you're in a pinch, when you're gifting something, or when you want to stay on a budget. So for $1.25, every time I go to the dollar store, I always forget that it's $1.25 now.
I know, I do too.
But still worth it. Take those flowers. We're going to dip them in our glue skillet.
Gloria says pretty.
Thank you, Gloria. And just poke them in. So we're going to do a few different types of flowers today. I want this wreath to be a little bit fuller than some reeds that we've designed here in the past. So we'll just start with these berries, work them in. Oh, that's not going to be good having the speaker. There's one. Here's our final one from that first spray. I mean, even one spray. That's a lot of flowers for $1.25. We also have these that we can use with the foliage, or we can just snip it off. So depending on the project, sometimes when you purchase high quality flowers too, the foliage just isn't up to par. But for $1.25, Can't go wrong. So I'll just keep these leaves in place just to add a little bit of foliage, since we're not going to add any, additional foliage up from the flowers, and it'll just create a nice green base.
Hi, Velkus. Vicky from Ohio wants to win.
Awesome, Vicky. Yes, we're going to be drawing a winner any minute now, so let us know how many times you've watched us here on Bowdabra, and if you have no idea, that is okay too. So we'll take another one, place it here. Maybe we'll keep it just blue. What do you guys think? Keep it just blue or work in a little purple? What are your thoughts, Al?
I like the blue.
You like just keeping it the blue?
Wreath.
I don't think we've done that before, have we? Probably. The amount of wreaths we made here over the years, we probably have. So we're going to take a few more of these. So we're invested like $8 now. How can you go wrong? So just snip, snip.
Marianne says she's watched you many times.
Awesome, Marianne.
Cynthia says 6. Kay says blue only.
Blue only, says Kay. So Kay said blue only. Let's just do blue. And I see we're at over 220 live viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Miriam says at least 50 times.
Oh,
That's a lot of Nick.
I know. I'm sick of me just listening to my voice right now. But I appreciate you guys. Alex is like, yeah, me too. All right, couple more. So I saw somebody say a little purple.
A little purple, but we're getting blue, just blue, just blue.
But the beauty of doing this, you guys, is that you can do it however you want. If you don't like blue, don't use blue. That's what keeps things fun, fresh, and exciting, is when you apply your own color schemes to what I teach you. So whatever tutorial I've shown in the past, we've done such crazy designs. We've done so many different styles and color combos. Some techniques have been the same, and we've done like 10, 15 different versions to showcase different colors. And the main thing I want a lot of you guys to get out of our tutorials is inspiration. I'm not here to show you exactly the way, but hopefully I can guide you on the right path, and you can apply your own kind of touch, your own personality, and your own color scheme to everything that I teach. So these are probably my favorite. I like those other blue flowers with it too. So just take them and poke them in. You can even poke them right into the bow. I think I'll just keep that bow as is, but if you wanted to, by all means, you certainly can.
Hi, Pamela.
Hi, Pamela. Over 230 of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Ooh, a lot of people don't know how many times they've seen you, but lots.
They're like too many. All right, there's the wreath. How simple. Another thing you can do too is take those tails and curl them up if you wanted to. I sometimes like them just to cascade down below naturally. It just depends on your mood. If you're like me, everything depends on your mood and what you're feeling in the moment. What do you think?
So cute.
Cute? Connie says, I have watched you from the beginning. Love to watch you. Thank you so much, Connie. So it's time to come back in with our final bow. So let's switch. Let's do our mini and see how many things we can work into this. So we have a lot smaller surface area that we can work in ribbon. So with the mini, this is great for hair bows and smaller detailed bows. If I had to recommend one, I would choose the large. Simply and solely, I'm a wreath designer. But you still can create rather large bows using the mini. So I'll see what we can do with this ribbon, which is a little bit thinner, which means we can come back in with more loops. So let's try a funky on the mini. I don't think we've tried it with 1.5 inch. So let's do, instead of dovetail, let's just cut them at a sharp angle. See how we did that?
Carol says, I've watched many times, including a couple times every Monday.
Oh, I appreciate that. Almost 250 of you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Cecilia says, love the wreath.
Thank you, Cecilia. And if you guys enjoy watching me on Bowdabra, let me know. It helps us continue doing these videos. And hopefully we've inspired you or taught you something new. All right, so that's 2 so far, and I feel that we have a lot of room left. So let's see how many we can actually work in. I have to focus on making sure I'm doing those angled cuts. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I'm having to sit there and put some thought into it because we're not going to dovetail this bow at all. And this is just going to be another alternative. So you can absolutely cut at an angle. That's definitely not a problem. You just don't want to have any blunt cuts right across. So make sure that they're either angled or dovetailed or whatever pretty way of cutting your ribbons you choose.
Kelly says, no tail.
No tail on this one. You could absolutely add a tail. but I don't think it's necessary for this bow.
Pat says he loves that green ribbon.
Yeah, this is a pretty green. Last week it was giving us issues because it was looking lime green one second, then chartreuse.
I know.
Okay.
Donna says it's her favorite color.
Lime green, yeah, it's very pretty. I'd say for years lime green was my favorite color too, especially at Christmas time. I loved that lime green and red combo. Remember how popular lime green and red was? So we're going to take those wires and pull them to the middle. I think it's such a pretty color because it just looks so fresh, right? Take those wires, pull them to the back. So even though we didn't dovetail, we are going to have to fluff. So there's no way of getting around, fluffing. Even if you position your loops perfectly in your Bowdabra or by hand or whatever you choose, you still got to fluff because it's not going to be exact.
Ooh, we have our winner. And congratulations to Marianne Davis.
Congratulations, Marianne. You won yourself a free roll of ribbon.
She says, oh my God, I won.
Let's all congratulate Marianne. Marianne's name starts with Davis on Facebook, and it always throws Alex off. But
I know,
at
but
this
I always
point
know
in
'cause
time,
of her little puppy picture. It's so
yeah,
cute.
At this point in time, when we see her name, we just know, right? But for a while, Alex would be like, thank you, Davis.
I'm so sorry. Comments come up so quick, guys. I try to read them. I'm trying to watch Nick.
All right, look at that bow. What do you think? I think that looks really pretty. So that's a funky bow using the mini and 1 ribbon. Here's a funky bow using the large and 3 ribbons. All 3 ribbons are similar in color, and they're not overly busy, so I think that works really nicely. When you start getting into too many prints and too many patterns with too many words, that's when I think bows can be overwhelming. But you got to keep in mind that is opinion based. So even though it might not be particularly my style, if you love it, who cares what else anybody has to say? So that is that. We have this one. Wow, we created a lot of bows tonight. We made this one. And let me know which is your favorite. We did the black and white as well. Beautiful funky bow. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you guys for the love. I appreciate it. And here is the wreath. Wait. Which way does it go, Al?
You made
Alex
it.
is like, I don't know. Like that. Just needs a little bit of fluffing. So I want to thank you all so very much for watching tonight. We are live each and every Monday on Bowdabra, and it feels like me and Alex have done it, just me and you, for a while now. So thank you guys so much. I'm Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor. Let me know which of these bows is your favorite. You can find the products to purchase down below. Make sure to join both the Bowdabra fan gallery as well as the Nick's Seasonal Decor crafting community for more inspiration from other designers and crafters, So if you want to see other styles, those are 2 great resources as well. So thank you, Sandy, for having us as a guest. Thank you, Joe, in the comments section. I appreciate you both very much, and I'll see you all next Monday. Bye, everyone.
Good night, everyone.